This is probably one of the most raw videos that I've had. What's going on, everyone? It's Dustin. Welcome to Weeping Wednesday. Alright, so I blew this account, but it all started a week or so ago. First, just so you can see, down $918.40. The balance was $49,112. $49,114 was my limit that I had to make based on the profits that I had made in the account prior. As always, we always start with the daily. So I'm going to actually zoom this in a little bit here. So you can see I had this shelf right up here, this resistance area that we were pushing into. Pre-market high was right there. Prior day high was there. Pre-market low was down here, which we're now below now. And then the prior daily low was down here. So as you can see, these big green candles I talked about. We actually will have a shelf in here depending on where this candle closes today. So I wasn't really liking the longs today because we were in this shelf, but I also wasn't liking the shorts because of all the buying pressure that we've had. I felt like profit taking was going to take today. I just wasn't 100% positive about it. And as we drill down further, you'll see some of that. So on the 4 hour, I had this down here from yesterday. I drew two more in here this morning. This was my overall target that I actually had to the downside. That was a much easily attainable price target that I thought price would go to. Just because there's two of them, I figured this one would be the easiest one to hit. Down on the 1 hour, you can see I draw a Fibonacci from the low. We never had a 3-candle pullback on anything until we got up here, and then we had these 3 candles pull back. So I actually had the high up here, and I was looking at a 0.5 to a 61.8 drawdown, which was 28,950 and 29,150, somewhere in that range. So drawing down to that is a big drop down, and my target would have been hit well before that. Now on the 15-minute chart, you can see I drew this out from the early morning. This was like 2 a.m. and we pierced through it and then came right back down through it and went down. So I had this resistance area up here. This was at 9:45 when we went through it. The 9:30 candle closed just under it. So it was the 9:30 candle pre-market closed just underneath it, and then market open, we pushed down and pushed back up. On the 5-minute here, we've got kind of a display of buyers stepping up here. So you can see we opened at the opening candle here, pushed up, second candle open, pushed down, pushed up, third candle open, pushed way down, all the way back down to the low of the orb and back up, and then closed with a slight red candle. Looked like a massive reversal candle. Then the next candle open, pushed down, pushed up, put in our high for the orb, and then we opened, and this one again is a spinning top, but it's more on the hammer side, and you can see we did come down from there. We pushed down into the midline and rebounded, pushed down into the midline and rebounded, closed green, then opened up here with no wick and on this candle and pushed down, way down, and then came back up. And then tried it again, and now you can see the wicks flipped sides, and then we went lower through there. But I'm going to cover the trades on the 1-minute chart. Alright, so the same thing you just saw on the 5-minute there, with price dancing around a little bit more near the midline before putting in the low and the high. And what I done is I drew this support out from these wicks here. I drew this out when I entered the trade, and I wanted my stop below the opening range. Down here I decided to trade the full range instead of just the 1-to-1 today, because it was about the same risk. It was like $240 for the 1-to-1, $260 for the 1-to-1, $340 for the range. And the auto TP was 2 contracts, the range was 1 contract, so it was the same amount of money, just a little bit more room for the trade to play out, and gave me room to add in if I wanted to. So my first entry took place right here prior to the breakout. Now this was mistake number 1. I was feeling the pressure this morning. So as we pulled down to the midline and bounced, we pulled down and bounced, we pulled down. I said, okay, when we bounce here, I want to enter above this green candle here if we break higher. So I did. I entered 1 contract there. We pushed up. I thought it was going to be really good, and then we sold down all the way down to VWAP. So when we pushed down to VWAP, I put the pierce right here, drew a little circle around it. I entered another contract there. We went higher. I drew this box out between this red candle and this red candle. We hit the midline on it, and that made me nervous. But then this candle pushed way up, and then we pierced this one. So then I'm like, crap, I'm in a little bit of money here because my average had averaged down where this entry was here, but not enough to really do anything. I'll touch on that in just a second. So then we pushed back down, we pushed up and we hit it again. And then we pushed up, then we pierced all the way through it, upward almost into what would be this one up here if I had extended it. And then we pushed into it again, and then we double wicked it. And then I drew this line. It's kind of hard to see because there's so much here. But I drew a line right here that's like, okay, we really need to get above that. So we pulled back down again. We tried again. We pierced it with 3 wicks and just couldn't close above it. So then we pulled back down again. We pushed back up. I drew this box. I said, okay, whatever side this box goes to is where it's going to be. I still left my stop where it was, though, which was down here. And so it was one of those things, like I really felt I had messed myself up and by getting in along. But I wanted to see, because we were above VWAP. We hadn't broke below the opening range or anything. I wanted to try to get what I could from the trade. So then we traded back down. I entered another contract right here at VWAP on the bounce. We pushed down again. We pierced all the way through this, and then we ended up closing inside this. So at this point, I was like, okay, I'm cooked. But we opened back up. We pushed high. When we pushed up here, I was like, this could be really good. If we can close above this and stay above VWAP, get back above the pre-market high and the center line, we're good to go. So I had 3 contracts at this time, but still no real profit. Now let me stop right there. This was not the funded account that I traded yesterday, or the Eval account that I traded yesterday that I funded. This was another account that I had prior that I had been trading, and I flipped to a different account, because what I ideally like to do is I like to have multiple accounts, and then if I have a really bad drawdown day, I don't want to trade that account the next day. I want to trade fresh. I'm not trying to make any money back, so I switched to a different account. Then if I fund an account like I did yesterday, I funded that account, I want to take the rest of the week off. I don't want to trade it till next week. So the challenge comes with balancing those, because evals, when you open an eval, it's either 30 days, you have 30 days to fund it and it just closes down, or it resets after 30 days. And some of that will vary between the company, whether it's an end-of-day drawdown or whether it's a trailing drawdown. All the rules are a little bit different. So coming into this morning, my account balance, like I said, was at $50,030. I had today and tomorrow to fund this account or blow this account. So they also have a 50% consistency rule at this firm. So I said, okay, I have to make $1,500 today. And I didn't want to do it all in one thing. I wanted to be able to add into the trade. I wanted to be able to scale in and scale out and just kind of get the full move the way the market was going to go. And that's why, one of the reasons why I got in early down here. I felt like we had bounced off the midline. We were going to be good. We could break higher. If we pulled down to VWAP, I would add in. I had all this planned out before the market ever opened of where I could add into positions, knowing I needed to make $1,500. I had an upside target and a downside target. The upside target was actually on the daily here. If you scroll back, we had another resistance area right up here. So that was going to be, once we made it through this, that was going to be my next target, would be up there at the 30,570, 30,500 range. I wanted to have enough contract size and enough profit built in by scaling in and out of contracts to be able to make it to that upside target or the downside target, like I showed you on the 4-hour. I really liked the downside target more than I did the upside target, but with the strength of the buyers that I was seeing, because see, we had one big candle move down, and then we undone it with 3 candles. We had a little red candle, and then we done 3 more candles. So we had all this strength coming in this morning that I was like, if it breaks high, I got to go high. If it breaks low, I got to go low. But then the pressure started mounting on, I have to make $1,500 today. So that was why I kind of entered the trades the way I did. So then, after we pushed up into here, we pushed all the way down and stopped me out. So I had my stop down here. I was down $400, something like that, because where I'd added in these other 2 contracts, it wasn't a whole lot. And you can see I've got the numbers of contracts in here. So I traded 1 contract, then I entered another one, and then I entered another one. So now I'm in 3 contracts. So when we got stopped out, I said, okay, I want to wait for a pullback to the opening range here. I want to push down, pull back, and I'm going to enter in 6 contracts, which is what I did. You can see the 6 right there. I entered in 6 contracts, and it worked. We pushed down, and I was happy. Down here, I was actually back into the profit, but only like $200. So as we pushed down, I said, okay, I want to wait and see what happens here. I'm actually going to clean this up because everything gets in the way there. When this pushed down, I was like, okay, I want to see a pullback a little bit before I enter in again. I didn't want to enter down here at this low. I drew this box. We broke through it. I was hoping we would pull back to it and I could enter it quickly to go back. But I didn't like, we pulled back into it here, sold back down, and then closed above it on this candle. So I didn't like that much. Then I saw these 3 wicks, and you'll see all these little circles I drew around was areas of importance to me on what the market was going to do. I was like, great, this is going to be a fake out and we're going to go higher. And we did. We went higher, then we double wicked this and sold off. I thought about entering when we double wicked this and went down. I thought about putting in another 6 contracts here to ride down. In hindsight, I wish I would have now, but I didn't. So as we sold down, I bought 4 contracts out of it just to ease some of the burden. I said I want to be in it for the long run. I got in 6 up here. I'm gonna do 6 more if it pulls back again. So I did. So I exited 2 down here. But what I did here was I moved my stop, and because we came up, we put in these wicks here. So I entered another short of 6 contracts here, and I put my stop just above this shelf right here because we had pierced it twice already. Then we pierced it again. Then we pushed up again. I was like, I'm going to enter again. So I entered 6 more contracts here. So now I'm in 12, and I got stopped out. So I was like, well, great. Then we sold way down. I'm like, if we break over this candle and go down, I'm just going to buy in 6 more. So I did. And then we pushed up. We come back down. I said, if we break this candle here because we got a big wick here, I'm going to enter 6 more. So I did. And we pushed down, we kind of chopped around, we pushed up, and I said, okay, if we break this one, every one of these little green candles right here, I was trying to enter more contracts. So I did. I entered that one. So my stop was down here. I pulled my stop into the middle of the shelf here, which I guess I should have been up here, I guess. But immediately got stopped out on this candle here. And I said, okay, I'm going to put in another entry just for 12. I doubled it again from 6 to 12, which I was in more than 12 contracts here. But I knew I only had like $200 in drawdown left. So I was like, I'm going to enter here. I had $200 in drawdown left going off of my total of being down, $700 or $800 for the day. And I was like, I have to make this money back one way or another. Because if I don't make $1,500 today, there's no way I can fund the account tomorrow because I would have had to have made $1,500 again tomorrow. So I ended up getting stopped out at my max drawdown. And the account is blown. So then we pulled up and then we pushed all the way down to pre-market. When I was in these contracts right here, my target was like right at my first entry down here. That's all I needed to fund the account. I just pulled this stop down and got stopped out. I oversized. All of that pressure built on me. And I want to show you something. We pulled down, we hit pre-market, we pulled back up. We've kind of chopped around a little bit and then bam, down below pre-market, 29,700 area down here. And, now we're trading back up. But that's why I don't really like to trade lunch, because there's no real follow through with anything. It's just choppiness. So ultimately it went to where I wanted it to go on my downside target, and we're not even close to the overall target. Like if this hits, this would have funded my account with just like 2 contracts. But I was trying to force the market. I was trying to force trade. And when you get to forcing trades, you really just overplay. You overtrade, you over leverage. All these things go wrong, all because of pressure. So if you made it this far, this one thing I want to tell you here is probably the most important thing in your trading career if you're going to trade prop firms. You cannot lose track of the date that your account's going to roll over or cancel. You cannot wait for the last couple of days where you need to make a bunch of money and you have a consistency rule. So these are some of the things to think about when you're going to enter a prop firm. You got to think about what are the consistency rules. If there weren't any consistency rules, I could have took what I took today, $300, $400, $500, whatever, and then applied all the pressure tomorrow if I wanted to. It would have been a little bit more pressure tomorrow, but it still wasn't like I had to make $1,500 today and tomorrow. It's very difficult to try to pull that much money out, and it really plays on you because this is like real money. Even though the prop firm, like it cost me $50, $80, $100, whatever, to get the prop firm account, it's still real money. I paid money for that. I didn't lose $1,000 of my own money today, but I lost the money I spent on the prop firm account. So the pressure's real, and you got to learn to handle the pressure of trading and losing money, and that's where sizing comes into play. So my normal size of 1, maybe 2 contracts, maybe 4 or 6 on a flip of some sort, is one thing. But trading, in this one instance here, I had 6, 12, 18, 24, or no, I got stopped out there. 6, 12, I had 14 contracts when I got stopped out here, 6, 12, 18 when I got stopped out here, and then entered with 12 more here. So, I mean, every 10 contracts is the same as trading a full mini contract. So we're talking hundreds of dollars moving in very little movements on these candles. And there was multiple times that I was in the green today. But I was like, if I take this, I'm not getting necessarily to my goal. I would have to enter another trade anyways. So that was a lot of mental gymnastics that I had to go through today, and I'm physically and mentally exhausted after today. I don't like trading days like today. If you can avoid it at all costs, do. Do not lose sight of when your contract or when your account rolls over or cancels. Make sure it's front and center, and that's what this account, you could really say this account was blown a week ago because I was in the other account trading. I wasn't even paying any attention to this account. And here we go again. So I trade 2 TradeAvate accounts right now. This one and the one I just passed yesterday. I can't trade more than 1 TradeAvate account with the current setup I have. I can trade 1 TradeAvate account and 1 Rhythmic account. So I can do a Apex account and a My Funded Futures account, or an Apex account and a Lucid account, because I can have Rhythmic and TradeAvate go on and copy trade. And that's what I've been doing for the while, is having one of each account. That way I can copy them, and if my goal's $200 and I make it, then I made $400 technically, because as you've heard me say before, add a contract or add an account. It's as simple as that. But because these were both TradeAvate accounts, I just was following suit. Locking in the gains on the Lucid account, and then flipped over to this account today, only to realize that I had 2 days left, and I had $3,000 to make on a 50% consistency rule. So you've got to be careful. You've got to protect yourself. I know this has been a longer video. I hope that you've made it through this far. I hope that you've learned something from my mistakes so that you don't have to go through them as well. So if you have, please leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can come back and watch the videos and not miss anything important like this right here. This one lesson, if you learn from my mistake, I put my hand on the burning stove so you don't have to, then it's paid for the price of the subscription, which is free. Now, your time is very important, and I understand that. And I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. This is probably one of the most raw videos that I've had. I am not one of those gurus that's only going to show you the green and show you very little losses, because losses happen. And I'm doing my daily recap videos regardless of whether I profited or lost. So I really hope that you've learned something. I really thank you for watching this video, and share it with somebody that you think can learn from it. And we'll be back. Actually, I won't be back, because unless I buy another account, I haven't decided that yet. I'm not trading my funded account until next week. So I may pick up another account, maybe an Apex or something, where I could trade them, copy trade together. I may just let this account reset and trade it. Depends on the cost. I think the resets are double what an account costs. So I may just cancel it out and buy another one. But yeah, I'll make that decision. We may have a trade day tomorrow. We may not. I don't know. Depends on what the market gives us, and it depends on the decision that I make and how I feel about everything moving forward. So again, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I hope you've learned something, and I will see you soon.